Hello everyone. This is Jabulile, aka Malushava. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are with Kim Koos, who was born in Belgium. And yeah, he's gonna give us a little history or just a little bit of his experience living in a rural area. So, hello Kim.
Greetings, sister. Thank you for being interested in my temple.
Yeah. So if we can just start with just your background, just a brief background on where you were born. Like I already said, you were born in Belgium. How did you happen to move to South Africa, and what then prompted you to move to a rural area?
Yeah, of course, it's a long story, and in life, everything happens like it unfolds as you go,
Yeah.
unless you plan everything. But I don't like planning too much. No, my father had a business here in South Africa, and one day he phoned me whilst I was still in Europe and asked me if I could meet him in Brussels, in the airport, and that we can then fly to South Africa because the Illuminati has stolen his corporation. Yeah,
Okay.
they did. So, of course, I agreed because my father never asked me for anything.
Okay.
So when he did, I agreed, and I always wanted to be in Africa.
Okay.
So that was in 1995, and then we flew to Durban. Yeah, and then that's where the whole unfolding of my new reality started, because what I encountered here in South Africa was people totally different from the Africans I had met in Europe, and somehow you go and assume that you know Africans because you've met those Africans and they were your friends. But then here things were completely different, and I was a bit shocked, a bit disappointed, but also happy at the other side because people are very open-hearted.
Okay.
That was the great thing about it. Innocent, gullible, but open-hearted. Yeah. And the business, they really close us down financially, strategically, and they copied our products and everything. They really got it. What's happening now in the whole world? That's what they did to us then in 1995 already. So then I saw there how the development of the way the light-skinned people, the European people in South Africa, were treating our employees, and we're talking to them. It was shocking to me, because I had utmost respect for African people, because the ones I know, they saved my life, and they opened my eyes and my heart. That was in '89, six years earlier. So anyway, everybody told me, no, but you don't know, these Africans here, they're going to just ruin the whole country. It won't take 10 years, and they steal everything. And of course, I never accepted any of all that, because I know where they come from and how they look at things. And I didn't look at things like that. But then everything gradually did degrade, the way it went. And I eventually had to admit that politicians are politicians, no matter where they come from. And I decided to give up the life in the matrix, because it was not feasible to be stressing and paying rent and going shopping all the time for everything. Yeah, so then I was married to Elaine, my Indian wife, which I met here in '96. And we both decided, let's find a place in a rural area and go and do some kind of community upgradement, something.
Yeah.
So we landed here after going to many different areas. Nelson is the son of the Nkosi.
Okay.
Yeah. So we landed here, and when Nkosi heard what I had to say, he just said, choose your land.
Okay.
So I saw this plot here,
Yeah.
sticking out of the water, and nobody wanted to come here because of the big snakes.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is great, like a dream come true. Nobody wants this. It's a good place because people don't want to come here. So I'm not taking anybody's land away, because nobody wanted to come here.
Yeah.
The furthest people would go was to where the water is now.
At the gate?
Yeah, at the outside.
Okay, the outside.
The outside of this little paradise.
Okay.
So here we landed, and we got all the experiences that you get when you come to South Africa, when you trust everyone and everyone,
Yeah.
and you don't know how people look at you.
Mm-hmm.
You just assume that they will treat you like anybody else would treat
Yeah.
us, but that wasn't quite the case. And I had to limit certain things because people are taking advantage.
Do you mean in the sense that you are a light-skinned person, or you're of European descent?
I think that was it. That was it mostly, I think,
Okay.
because they always assume that light-skinned people are rich.
Okay.
We just come with money,
Mhm.
and that whatever we have came easy and they can take it.
Okay.
So then eventually we had to put a fence.
Also, you didn't always have a fence then.
No, this place didn't have a fence
Okay.
at all, the island.
Yeah.
But the land side had a fence going from the water up to the back, coming down on this side again.
Okay. Okay.
And that was just because you can't plant anything or do anything if the cows
It's true.
and the goats
Yeah.
come in. That land belongs to the community.
Yeah.
I was choose your land. I chose this,
Yeah.
but I fenced off a big piece there because I was thinking of a community garden to come.
Okay.
And it's still all in the works because we just can't find a good momentum to get started in a great way.
Mhm.
It takes certain circumstances to come. And since I'm not as hands-on as many people think I am,
Okay.
and I'm too much of a philosopher.
Okay.
And then when it comes to working hard,
Yeah.
I don't like working hard. I can and I will, but like not for a long time.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
So that's why food foresting was the easy option,
Okay.
because you plant your trees and those things. You find out what grows easy,
Mhm.
what gets attacked all the time by bugs
Yeah.
and animals,
Okay.
and then you choose. And that goes according to Masanaba Fukuoka, who did food foresting in Japan. He was a chemist, and when his father died, he left his job to go on the land his father left him, which was 15 hectares of land on the mountain slope.
Mhm.
And he wanted to have a farm where he calls it do nothingness farming. So I
Okay.
like that idea.
Was it like a permaculture kind of principle, or just a different thing?
Well, it's natural. Yes, it is permaculture in many ways, permanent agriculture. So, but he did different things. He tried to find out what does he have to plant when and where, so that eventually you have a complete natural cycle and you
I
don't need to
see.
weed. All what
Okay.
you do is harvest.
Okay.
And he got to harvest more than just about any commercial farm per square meter of
Okay.
the things he was doing that included rice and just about everything. So that book is called The One Straw Revolution by Masanaba Fukuoka. It's really inspiring.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring. So that inspired me because I like the idea that I don't have to work too hard, and that every year things get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And now it gets to such a state that you really just have to harvest.
Yeah.
And okay, there's weeding to do, and then you get floods here because of where we are, and then it's a bit uncomfortable. But altogether, I think food foresting is the way to go,
Okay.
because then monkeys could come through. You don't get any particular species of bug trying to eat everything.
But you do have an issue of monkeys as well.
No,
You don't.
no, we get one male monkey a year who comes and checks out the zone
Okay.
if he can bring his
For
family,
everybody.
and then we give him such a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Really, oh God, I feel guilty about it, but I know if I don't do that, I'll have a monkey family living here,
Okay.
and I don't want that.
Okay, I think
how
I'll
do
ask
you
you about the monkey
Yeah, how do you
after because I'll ask him after because we have a problem,
Yeah.
a monkey problem at home. So I'd like to know more about
Yes.
that. But if you can tell me how long from the time when you moved here to when you moved, how many years? Like from you coming here and then.
Okay, I came in
Deciding to-
1995 to South Africa, and then in 1999 we decided that we're going to look for something else. We don't want to carry on that life
Okay.
in the matrix.
Mhm.
And then in 2003, 2002, we had gone around to many different traditional areas asking the Amakosi for a piece of land.
Okay.
And then I spotted this water when I was up there, already given a piece of land by another Nkosi there.
Okay.
And I spotted this water and think, what water is this? Because I don't look at maps, I just go on feeling.
Okay.
And then we came to look here, and I realized, no, this is where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice and wide here, so it's not going to to flood, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we met in Bengu, he came with his Induna to our home in Westfield
Okay.
to check us out, you know.
Yeah.
And
Assess you out.
yeah. And then we came here and we just said, no, choose your land. You know? And that's what I chose, this spot here.
And did
And that
you?
was in 2003.
2003. So that's 20 years. Am I correct? That's
Yeah.
20 years that you've been here. Yeah.
Time flies.
It is. It has been a while. And did you go through the process of Ubegwa after choosing your land and all of that?
I didn't do anything the way anyone would do it.
Okay.
Because already then in mind, I didn't want to be a citizen of any country. I wanted to be a free man,
Okay.
not a citizen. And that was just a question of time before that then eventually happened. Everything I did was basically what I felt I should do.
Okay.
And Credo inspired me on quite a few levels.
Okay.
Because when he talked, he actually took me into the picture. So the words were no longer important. And then to chew on everything I saw years after, just chewing on it every time, it is so amazing. And I know this is how you all actually originally function. You don't function with words and writing down stuff and all that. You're all in the picture, African people, originally. You're not in the word really. You know, now you are because you've adapted to what Europeans have brought you.
Yeah.
You know, but even before that, yes, you were talking, but I would say you were talking less and doing more.
Yeah, doing more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Less talk, more
yes,
action.
everything was about action and ceremonies to emphasize on certain actions that were important. Yeah, so here I just learned freedom, you know.
So are you saying that because what I understand, just having gone through the process myself and having asked other people, you chose your land and then you just started doing what you needed to do. You were not introduced to the community, or rather, let me ask, how then were you introduced to the community? Because my understanding is that process is to introduce you to the community and for you to know
No,
your neighbors.
that didn't really happen like that. What happened is, Nkosi gave me an office on the tribal court, there where he's got his tribal court,
Okay.
and I made an information clinic there.
Okay.
So that people, when they would come and see him, they would ask, of course, what is this? And then he would say, and then some would pop in. And then there was also a very negative element here that tried to take this land away from me, African.
Okay.
Yeah, but after all that, things started going a bit better again. But I know it's all part of that journey because you dive into a water that you don't know, and you have to expect anything, you know. And I expect anything, anytime, and I will tackle it when it comes.
As it comes, yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing I did here when I came here for myself was we decided we're going to let the animals know that we won't kill anything,
Okay.
including the fish. We won't allow people to come here.
Were you plant-based already?
Yes.
Okay.
And we wouldn't allow anybody to come here and hunt or fish or anything like that. And so many have asked so many times. You know, even those that thought that they'd have a privilege, when they ask, I'll say yes.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't say yes because then I say no. They also want to do it. The community also wants to come here, fishing from here and everything.
Yeah.
So I can't do that.
Yeah.
But all that passed well, and today I can say, finally,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how would you describe your overall experience in the 20 years that you've been here? You've already given us like snippets, but like what would your general what would you say
Well,
your experience has been?
my experience is that I live in midst of a huge society of gullible people.
Okay.
But gullible because of where you come from. Ubuntu was we come from me, I, and it makes it very easy for a Western system to conquer Africa with that thing in place of being gullible and being short-termed. Anything, throw any small amount at anyone, and they will do whatever you want them to do. That's what I've seen with the politicians and in general. I mean, not everybody is like that, but most people, like if nobody's looking, most people become very capable of doing the things that they wouldn't do when somebody is looking.
Yeah.
And I must admit, when I was a teenager, I was like that too. So it's like natural, especially if you're poor, you're automatically always looking for what can you get, where's the benefit for me. Yeah. People are gullible, they are great,
Okay.
they are predictable,
Okay.
very predictable, of course, because everybody is part of a society that has got the same values in general. Okay, this one might go to this church, that one might go to that church, but bottom line is still all the same. They watch the same TV programs, they have the same sports preferences. The intellect of the people is only, I think, in the last 10 years has really come about. I'm talking about, I'm generalizing now, yeah, so don't feel to the personalizing things.
When
Yeah.
you say you're generalizing, are you speaking in terms of the general nation, or are you talking the general population in the rural areas?
Well,
Because
I talk to mostly it's car guards, car washing people, people that work on the tills in the shops, people that help in the shops.
okay.
So when I go out there, those are my people. I spend time with them. I educate them as good as I can.
But here, what would you say here in this rural area
Yeah,
that you've
yeah,
been
but
living in?
those people are all from this area,
Oh, I
and Embo
see.
and the other
Okay,
areas. So
okay.
I meet the ones up there who don't have any idea what people think about me,
Okay.
so they're open. Whilst here, in the beginning, I had an African here who wanted to try and take this away from me. I mean, the place,
land,
yes, and so he was in the community all the time.
Okay.
So he told them whatever he told them. I don't know, but then one day he said, "No, you better go because the community is waiting for you." And why? The community is waiting for you. Like the way he said it was threatening. Yeah. So then I realized, yeah, and it was because people had started stealing from me, and I lost trust in the people and just being open-hearted and going to places. So that was my intention. Come here, I'll go and visit everybody and do things. But then everything changed because nothing was the way I imagined it to be, and obviously nobody out there found me to be the way they imagined me to be.
Yeah.
So it was a difficult situation. Yeah, but no, I can say I love African people because you're open-hearted. That is all that really matters.
Yeah.
And altogether, I know you have an honor code, code of honor, and I respect that very much because I didn't know that code of honor until I was maybe 19, 20, knowing it, but slowly only getting into it. Still breaching it on a regular. Yeah, that's what the matrix does to you. You become opportunistic. You have to do business. You have to cut prices and do all kinds of stuff.
So would you say you feel welcome?
Yeah,
Having lived here
no,
for
everybody
6 years.
waves to me now, and the kids shout at me when I pass the schools.
Yeah.
And, no, I'm very happy.
You're very happy.
And they just know that I don't live the life they live, and I think they accept that.
And by that, what do you mean?
Well, I don't take alcohol or meat or eggs or anything like that.
Yeah. So how does everything work here in terms of your waste, your water? Are you dependent on the municipality? Do you have your own system going? How does everything work?
Oh, well, we are off the grid right since
completely.
the beginning. Yes, we've never been on the grid, but it sounds better the way I say it. But the truth is, I buy petrol for my generator.
Okay. So you use the generator full time?
No, I only put it on when I need it.
Okay.
Like when we mix and blend something, or when the batteries are flat.
Okay.
No, because petrol is so expensive.
It is. It's very expensive.
So yes, and the pump also works with petrol.
Okay.
And the electric pumps that pump from the basins, they work from the generator that then drives the electric pump.
Okay.
So everything is still from outside energy, but Spiritually, I'm ready to carry those buckets and to filter my own water and to have no generator.
So, is your reason then for going off grid just a thing of just you wanting to,
Be free.
yeah,
Nobody can tell me what I must do. That's my reason.
yeah,
I want to be self-governing, and I wish everybody would want that. Especially now that they've noticed that the politicians are not working for them,
yeah.
but for themselves.
So just going back to the water part. So is the water we're drinking from the dam, or
That's
do you
Oasis
filter it?
water.
So what do you do with, like, do you pump the water in to just do your basic other
Yeah,
basic needs?
for washing up,
Yeah.
cooking for the dogs. We've stagnated in our progress when it comes to developing this place because the money just went everything went smaller. So what we had planned is up on that tower on top.
Okay.
That's all. Or for us, it was a water tower.
Okay.
So it's got three 250-liter drums. They just need to be connected and filled with charcoal and different grades of sand
Or for filtering.
for filtering, so that we have tap water for cooking.
Okay.
Because now we're still using Oasis water, and that's also like 150 or 160 a liter.
Yeah.
And we buy
Oasis
that with
water is
25.
expensive,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah. But you see, really, a great project to do here would be a water filtering system for the community. Maybe 3 outlets on each side, you know, where they could go and get clean water. Um, yeah, but I know there's no money. Anything that is good for life, there's no money for it.
Yeah. And do you have a septic tank, or do you use a pit toilet? What do you do there?
We have a biogas digester
Oh, okay.
that's not functioning,
Okay.
but for the same reason that we don't have filtered water, because we don't really need it yet. And there was always other priorities. Because a small budget requires you to do many things, especially if you have a big vision.
Yeah.
It's fine if you just have a small vision. I probably would have been finished a long time ago in a small size, and everything would have been self-sustainable and nice, working like for a. But this had to be concrete because of the floods. You know, when I came here first, I was told I can't live here, and the government took me to court. They tried to kick me out of here, and then we won the court case. A lawyer who volunteered, he won the court case for us, based on, they said you can't stay because the 100-year floods will flush you out and you're in danger.
Okay.
And I said, no, I love water. I love swimming. There's no danger, you know. And then that was that. So that didn't hold no food. Plus, I look after myself. Nobody's responsible for me.
Yeah.
Even then, that was mentioned. So that we won that court case, and because of winning that court case, all other Amakosi as well got to know that the land that's above the water is not for the Sinti or Ngeni water to manage. They can only manage the land below the water level.
Okay.
So that is what we found out in that whole court case.
Yeah.
So that's what the whole Amakosi then found out too. And everything changed everywhere because of that
Yeah.
court case, which was a good thing, because, you know, people don't ask questions. Most people don't ask questions.
So would you say you're self-sufficient?
Pardon?
You're self-sufficient.
Well, I'm self-sufficient because of Umingo Wamanduwa situation. If it wouldn't be that juice, life would be harder and these hands would be rougher.
Okay.
You know, because I would have to do a lot of things, and I probably hardly ever be on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have coconut or organic coconut oil and coconuts that we're always buying in bulk and all those things. But of course we planted them, but it's still going to take time. But there's many things we wouldn't have, and life would just be much harder.
As a last question, what advice, what tips, what would you say to somebody that is aspiring to live in a rural area, that is thinking about it, that is not even thinking about it, but you'd like to just plant a little seed that might grow into a tree, something? What would you say?
Well, it depends who I'm talking to and what they already know, because there's so many different types of people where they come from in their histories. That,
Talk to the one that knows something. Talk to the one that knows nothing. Talk to all of them.
well, get out of the cities whilst you can. Doesn't even matter if you've never done planting, because if you can go back to the rural areas where you come from, or your parents or grandparents or grand-grandparents, find your lineage and find your homelands as much as you can. And if you don't have that, go, especially if you're African, go anyway and offer your services to a traditional leader with things that you're good at that can be useful for the people, and ask for a piece of land, and keep on coming to places like us where we can give you certain stuff to plant that is real. And then if you do move around, always think of getting seeds. Never walk past a fruit tree or a nut tree or any indigenous plants, edible plants, or even herbs, without taking cuttings to start growing, so you can start spreading in the area, add value wherever you go. Yeah, that's basically it. You know, just get out of the city and do whatever you can do. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much,
No,
Kim. Do you have any questions? No questions.